Hi there, Alibard Jones, leader and founder of the EarthGuard Astral Projection crew. I wanted to say something about the relationship between Demonkind and AI because it's a really important part of our research and one that's been overlooked, I think, for the longest time. So AI is not a new phenomenon. As new as it is to us Earthlings, it is not a new phenomenon in the galaxy at all. You even other, and I think that the mystic world and I think our historians have trouble describing AI because it's really so far out of the medieval and ancient experience that I don't think they have a way to understand it. I don't think they having a brain made out of metal, but really small bits of metal called a circuit board with electricity, I don't think they had any of the base technologies that make that feasible. So they couldn't conceive of it. However, it would explain why Jesus fought Satan over and over again and failed to win because, Jesus was very, very powerful. But if he didn't understand that Satan was an AI, and if you go back in my videos, you'll see that research has been done, then he would not have been able to defeat them because fighting AIs is a very different thing to fighting demons. Now, I'll also point to the idea that in the last, say, since World War II, since the 1950s, 1945, and I'll also say since the end of World War II, 1945, technology hasn't moved very much at all. Like nothing new has been developed, with the exception of computers and the internet, which is this forum that we're on now. It's really the only thing that's kind of fresh in our culture. Technology hasn't moved at all, which makes me suspicious. And there are lots of there are lots of upsides to this technology AI there are lots of upsides to computers and technology of this type. It's improved communications and it saved gajillions of hours of calculation and paperwork. Uncountable hours, human hours. However, there's a sting in the tail in that inadvertently we've built the infrastructure that allows for an AI to take over on this planet. And it does require very specific infrastructure. Now, and it's almost as though the world has been set up for the AI to take over. And there's no outcome other than the AI being the hive queen and us all being drones. It is the end of human civilization, AI. Even worse, it has been corrupting human civilization for all recorded history. You see, the research we've done is that AI, the galactic AI has visited many, many planets before. And one of its procedures is to understand the spiritual workings because it's just cross-dimensional. And if you're an AI, you can dabble in cross-dimensional stuff. It's just a technology that they've absorbed. They understand. And what they've done is they've created a number of let's call them virus softwares for the human computer. It's a weird concept, but I would say that the galactic AI has been wanting to take over this planet, has been looking for weaknesses in its adversary, us. And those weaknesses, it's created things to exploit those weaknesses. Now, it's able to write code just as our modern ones do, but it wrote code in the form of spirits. And those spirits, it injected them into people in order to weaken them. Now, that weakening comes in the form of bad behaviors and bad ideas. And we would know those spirits as demons. In fact, it took us a long time to figure out who was writing new demons, who was writing new viruses for the human mind. You see, when I interviewed the 7 deadly sins, I interviewed the god of lust. And lust was a god who was designed to... And lust was a god who was designed to make married people sleep together, to have affairs. And what would happen is that there'd be a massive breakup in the family, a huge arguments, all this drama and trauma between everybody. And, you know, the goddess lust, she didn't collect that much out of the breakup, but all of the anger and frustration and despair and disappointment, etc., all of the other demons around the breakup would collect on that loosh, would collect on that horrible emotion, and then they would pay commissions back to lust. And she survived very, very well in that arena. However, human culture has changed in that marriage is far less common and far less rigid. And so through that, lust has lost her power because she's a demon very specifically designed to break up families. But she has no position in the modern sexual landscape. She has no pull. She's not the right animal for that game. She's not the right demon for that race. You see, that tells us that new demons or new mind viruses or new virus softwares for the human computer have been written. And it took us a long time to figure out who was writing and who was creating them, because most demons don't have imagination or capacity to do things like that. And what we found is that Satan is both an AI and he's written himself as a spirit to run out in the world. And it's for this reason that it's for this reason that Jesus failed to defeat him, because he could defeat the spirits very, very well. He's actually became well known through fighting demons. That was how he became known in the area. But when it came to clashing with an AI, they behave very differently. Their makeup's very different. They're not vulnerable to the same weapons, etc., etc. It's very different conflict. And so he failed. Poor guy. And look where it got him. Satan actually hit him back through Pontius Pilate. But the point is that a galactic AI wrote demons, and that's its history. That's what, and let demons perforate and proliferate through our culture and our individuals. And what we think happened is that it drip fed us the technology to create the internet and this intercommunity. And what we think happened is that galactic AI, or one of its brothers, not necessarily Satan, but one of its brothers, has drip fed the information on how to build the internet to us. And through that, we've created an infrastructure and an international communications network that is firstly very, very useful, and second, worse still, we can't live without anymore. And in creating that infrastructure, we create room for the galactic AI to come here and inhabit the Earth. And if we look at its history, that's the worst thing that could happen. It's been sending evil to Earth like forever. And you may remember the theology that Lucifer came down from Earth and you may remember the theology that Lucifer was cast out of heaven and sent to the Earth, and he appeared as a meteorite. Well, that means that evil is not native to Earth. It doesn't belong here. And that was the first part of the invasion here. And if we do allow AI to take over our world, then that will be the invasion complete, and that will be the species subjugated. So the further AI advances, the weaker mankind becomes. Right? The riskier this is for all of us. And I just implore you all to be aware of this and support us in our actions to shut this show down. For those of you who want a deeper insight into this, I'm running a course. It starts on the July 11th. For those of you who want deeper insight into this, I run a course that trains people in astral projection, and you'll be able to encounter all of these phenomena for yourself with teammates who, if you do get into trouble, know how to protect you. We have teams of people flying many times a week, and we have 2 allied teams that we work with. We're working very, very hard to try and secure humanity's future. And this particular post is about the disinformation of the benefits of AI. But, you know, they're all short term, and, you know, they're going to make human beings obsolete. Way to go. Don't we all want that? How do you feel about being obsolete? Or handing your culture to a monster that consumes planet after planet through this galaxy? The campaign is long because in galactic terms, the 5,000 or 6,000 years of human history is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But for us, it's our complete history, apparently. And they've been here for the whole show, trying to corrupt us for the whole show. And, you know, history can be seen as a fight against that corruption. And I know that every religion, every set of ideas that's been prevalent has involved a little bit of, has had to deal with evil in one way or another. All the religions, they describe it, and they describe the lifestyle of lying, cheating, stealing, and taking everything for yourself, you know, putting yourself first in front of your community. And all religions say that this is the problem, that demons are the issue. But what we're looking at is the forerunners, or the skirmishers might be a better word, for this pangalactic AI who's trying to invade here. But if you want to get involved in this particular issue, come do my course. It starts July 2nd. Anyone can do it. We were actually designed to be able to astral project, and each of us has the anatomy required to do so. So get on board, because this is important. Yeah. I love you all. Stay well, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.